Who says youth are apathetic? Not Jamie Bigger and Adam Shedletsky. They're the founders of a new grassroots movement that's aiming to inspire and encourage citizens to get involved in our democratic process.
I think apathy is a problem around the world. I don't think it's specific to Canada or specific to Canada's youth. And given how divisive and toxic our politics are, it's no surprise that youth turn to other places to get involved.
And it's only been in the last couple of years that we've realized that, you know, we actually really have to work with this thing. We have to figure out how to have our voices heard and how to try to influence it. And so let's figure out a new way to do that.
And last January, they found a way to make that happen. The guys launched the Leadnow organization, based on a new model of organizing that's become popular in countries like the US, the UK, and Australia. Jamie and Adam realized that if they wanted to reach young Canadians in particular, they would have to engage them via a medium they were comfortable with.
What we're going to focus on is using technology as a tool to empower people and encourage individuals to get involved however much they can, whether it's just spending a few minutes on a computer or organizing on-the-ground events.
We see that as being really important because right now all the pressure and the incentives of federal politics are towards division, towards short-term thinking, towards this kind of really toxic politics that's turning people away. So if we are going to get a positive vision, looking for cooperation and looking for long-term interests of the country, I think that really needs to come from people. And so we're trying to facilitate a process that can make that happen.
They also wanted to create an avenue in which they could bring the younger and older generations together. By conversing with other like-minded people, they hope that youth will realize that politics is relevant to them and that they do have a voice that will be heard by politicians in Ottawa.
Another thing that's really important about social media that really differentiates it from other kinds of media is that messages come from peer-to-peer. So particularly for younger people, we don't tend to trust many traditional institutions very much anymore. And it really makes a difference for them to hear about, you know, there's a new initiative to try to do something about politics in this country, to try to change politics in this country. To hear about that from a friend is very different than hearing about that than, say, a billboard or in another way.
So how exactly do they accomplish all of this? Their current goal is to create what they call a Declaration for Change, a document that calls on federal politicians to cooperate for progress on some key challenges that are identified during cross-country conversations.
What is one thing about Canada that you would want to make stronger?
Last week, through Facebook and Twitter, over 70 regeneration events like this were organized across the country, where people from different generations got together to talk about their hopes and goals for the country, and how to translate those desires into practical political action.
I think that youth feel as though they don't really have a voice, and I think that this is a means for them to actually have an impact on what will happen in Ottawa.
I didn't think actually that politics was a vehicle for change, and this has shed a different light on that, and it's gotten people excited.
And the results from these conversations will pull together the common themes from them and the online engagement that we're doing and create this Declaration for Change.
They're not looking to support one party over another. It's about creating a consensus across parties for the need for action on those issues that Canadians care most about. Some major themes they saw emerge during these conversations included democracy, environmental issues, and the economy.
Once we understand what areas Canadians want our politicians to make progress on, we'll have kind of the full Declaration for Change. And the next step to that is going to be asking Canadians and our members to support that Declaration for Change by committing to vote for the politicians who they feel rise to the challenge.